Chapter 19, in which Passepartout takes a too great interest in his master, and what comes of that. Hong Kong is an island which came into the possession of the English by the Treaty of Nankin, after the War of 1842, and the colonizing genius of the English has created upon it an important city and an excellent port. The island is situated at the mouth of the Canton River, and is separated by about 60 miles from the Portuguese town of Macau, on the opposite coast. Hong Kong has beaten Macau in the struggle for the Chinese trade, and now the greater part of the transportation of Chinese goods finds its depot at the former place. Passepartout wandered, with his hands in his pockets, towards the Victoria port, gazing as he went at the curious palanquins and other modes of conveyance, and the groups of Chinese, Japanese, and Europeans who passed to and fro in the streets. Hong Kong seemed to him not unlike Bombay, Calcutta, and Singapore, since, like them, it betrayed everywhere the evidence of English supremacy. At the Victoria port he found a confused mass of ships of all nations, English, French, American, and Dutch, men of war and trading vessels, Japanese and Chinese junks, sempers, tankers, and flower boats, which formed so many floating parterres. Passepartout noticed in the crowd a number of the natives who seemed very old and were dressed in yellow. On going into a barber's to get shaved he learned that these ancient men were all at least 80 years old, at which age they are permitted to wear yellow, which is the imperial color. Passepartout, without exactly knowing why, thought this very funny. On reaching the quay where they were to embark on the Carnatic, he was not astonished to find Fix walking up and down. The detective seemed very much disturbed and disappointed.
"This is bad,"
muttered Passepartout.
"For the gentlemen of the Reform Club."
He accosted Fix with a merry smile, as if he had not perceived that gentleman's chagrin. The detective had, indeed, good reasons to inveigh against the bad luck which pursued him. The warrant had not come. It was certainly on the way, but as certainly it could not now reach Hong Kong for several days, and, this being the last English territory on Mr. Fogg's route, the robber would escape, unless he could manage to detain him.
"Well, Monsieur Fix,"
said Passepartout.
"have you decided to go with us so far as America?"
"Yes,"
returned Fix, through his set teeth.
"Good,"
exclaimed Passepartout, laughing heartily.
"I knew you could not persuade yourself to separate from us. Come and engage your berth."
They entered the steamer office and secured cabins for 4 persons. The clerk, as he gave them the tickets, informed them that, the repairs on the Carnatic having been completed, the steamer would leave that very evening, and not next morning, as had been announced.
"That will suit my master all the better,"
said Passepartout.
"I will go and let him know."
Fix now decided to make a bold move. He resolved to tell Passepartout all. It seemed to be the only possible means of keeping Phileas Fogg several days longer at Hong Kong. He accordingly invited his companion into a tavern which caught his eye on the quay. On entering, they found themselves in a large room handsomely decorated, at the end of which was a large camp bed furnished with cushions. Several persons lay upon this bed in a deep sleep. At the small tables which were arranged about the room some 30 customers were drinking English beer, porter, gin, and brandy, smoking, the while, long red clay pipes stuffed with little balls of opium mingled with essence of rosé. From time to time one of the smokers, overcome with the narcotic, would slip under the table, whereupon the waiters, taking him by the head and feet, carried and laid him upon the bed. The bed already supported 20 of these stupefied sots. Fix and Passepartout saw that they were in a smoking house haunted by those wretched, cadaverous, idiotic creatures to whom the English merchants sell every year the miserable drug called opium, to the amount of £1,400,000, thousands devoted to one of the most despicable vices which afflict humanity. The Chinese government has in vain attempted to deal with the evil by stringent laws. It passed gradually from the rich, to whom it was at first exclusively reserved, to the lower classes, and then its ravagers could not be arrested. Opium is smoked everywhere, at all times, by men and women, in the Celestial Empire, and, once accustomed to it, the victims cannot dispense with it, except by suffering horrible bodily contortions and agonies. The great smoker can smoke as many as 8 pipes a day, but he dies in 5 years. It was in one of these dens that Fix and Passepartout, in search of a friendly glass, found themselves. Passepartout had no money, but willingly accepted Fix's invitation in the hope of returning the obligation at some future time. They ordered 2 bottles of port, to which the Frenchman did ample justice, whilst Fix observed him with close attention. They chatted about the journey, and Passepartout was especially merry at the idea that Fix was going to continue it with them. When the bottles were empty, however, he rose to go and tell his master of the change in the time of the sailing of the Carnatic. Fix caught him by the arm, and said,
"Wait a moment.
What for, Mr. Fix?
I want to have a serious talk with you."
A serious talk?
cried Passepartout, drinking up the little wine that was left in the bottom of his glass.
Well, we'll talk about it tomorrow. I haven't time now.
Stay. What I have to say concerns your master.
Passepartout, at this, looked attentively at his companion. Fix's face seemed to have a singular expression. He resumed his seat.
What is it that you have to say?
Fix placed his hand upon Passepartout's arm, and, lowering his voice, said,
"You have guessed who I am."
Parbaloo,
said Passepartout, smiling.
"Then I'm going to tell you everything."
now that I know everything, my friend. Ah, that's very good. But go on, go on. First, though, let me tell you that those gentlemen have put themselves to a useless expense.
Useless?
Said Fix.
You speak confidently. It's clear that you don't know how large the sum is.
Of course I do.
Returned Passepartout.
£20,000.
55,000.
Answered Fix, pressing his companion's hand.
What?
Cried the Frenchman.
Has Monsieur Fogg dared? £55,000. Well, there's all the more reason for not losing an instant.
He continued, getting up hastily. Fix pushed Passepartout back in his chair, and resumed.
£55,000. And if I succeed, I get £2,000. If you'll help me, I'll let you have 500 of them.
Help you?
Cried Passepartout, whose eyes were standing wide open.
Yes, help me keep Mr. Fogg here for 2 or 3 days.
Why, what are you saying? Those gentlemen are not satisfied with following my master and suspecting his honor, but they must try to put obstacles in his way. I blush for them.
What do you mean?
I mean that it is a piece of shameful trickery. They might as well waylay Mr. Fogg and put his money in their pockets.
I mean that it is a piece of shameful trickery. They might as well waylay Mr. Fogg and put his money in their pockets.
It's a conspiracy, then.
Cried Passepartout, who became more and more excited as the liquor mounted in his head, for he drank without perceiving it.
A real conspiracy. And gentlemen, too. Ah.
Fix began to be puzzled.
Members of the Reform Club.
Continued Passepartout.
You must know, Monsieur Fix, that my master is an honest man, and that, when he makes a wager, he tries to win it fairly.
But who do you think I am?
Asked Fix, looking at him intently.
Parbaloo, an agent of the members of the Reform Club, sent out here to interrupt my master's journey. But, though I found you out some time ago, I've taken good care to say nothing about it to Mr. Fogg.
He knows nothing, then?
Nothing.
Replied Passepartout, again emptying his glass. The detective passed his hand across his forehead, hesitating before he spoke again. What should he do? Passepartout's mistake seemed sincere, but it made his design more difficult. It was evident that the servant was not the master's accomplice, as Fix had been inclined to suspect.
Well,
said the detective to himself.
As he is not an accomplice, he will help me.
He had no time to lose. Fogg must be detained at Hong Kong, so he resolved to make a clean breast of it.
Listen to me.
Said Fix abruptly.
I am not, as you think, an agent of the members of the Reform Club.
Bah!
Retorted Passepartout, with an air of raillery.
I am a police detective, sent out here by the London office.
You, a detective?
I will prove it. Here is my commission.
Passepartout was speechless with astonishment when Fix displayed this document, the genuineness of which could not be doubted.
Mr. Fogg's wager,
resumed Fix,
is only a pretext, of which you and the gentlemen of the Reform are dupes. He had a motive for securing your innocent complicity.
But why?
Listen. On the 28th of last September, a robbery of £55,000 was committed at the Bank of England by a person whose description was fortunately secured. Here is his description. It answers exactly to that of Mr. Phileas Fogg.
What nonsense.
Cried Passepartout, striking the table with his fist. Quote,
My master is the most honorable of men.
How can you tell? You know scarcely anything about him. You went into his service the day he came away. And he came away on a foolish pretext, without trunks, and carrying a large amount in banknotes. And yet you are bold enough to assert that he is an honest man.
Yes, yes.
repeated the poor fellow, mechanically.
Would you like to be arrested as his accomplice?
Passepartout, overcome by what he had heard, held his head between his hands, and did not dare to look at the detective. Phileas Fogg, the saviour of Outer, that brave and generous man, a robber. And yet how many presumptions there were against him. Passepartout essayed to reject the suspicions which forced themselves upon his mind. He did not wish to believe that his master was guilty.
Well, what do you want of me?
Said he, at last, with an effort.
See here.
Replied Fix.
I have tracked Mr. Fogg to this place, but as yet I have failed to receive the warrant of arrest for which I sent to London. You must help me to keep him here in Hong Kong.
But I
will share with you the £2,000 reward offered by the Bank of England.
Never.
Replied Passepartout, who tried to rise, but fell back, exhausted in mind and body.
Mr. Fix.
He stammered.
Even should what you say be true, if my master is really the robber you are seeking for, which I deny, I have been, in his service, I have seen his generosity and goodness, and I will never betray him, not for all the gold in the world. I come from a village where they don't eat that kind of bread.
You refuse.
I refuse.
Consider that I've said nothing.
Said Fix.
And let us drink.
Yes, let us drink.
Passepartout felt himself yielding more and more to the effects of the liquor. Fix, seeing that he must, at all hazards, be separated from his master, wished to entirely overcome him. Some pipes full of opium lay upon the table. Fix slipped one into Passepartout's hand. He took it, put it between his lips, lit it, drew several puffs, and his head, becoming heavy under the influence of the narcotic, fell upon the table.
At last.
Said Fix, seeing Passepartout unconscious.
Mr. Fogg will not be informed of the Carnatic's departure, and, if he is, he will have to go without this cursed Frenchman.
And, after paying his bill, Fix left the tavern. And with that, my friends, we are once again at pause, and just a big reminder, make sure you are following us to be informed when our next chapter will drop. Until.
Just a moment. You are to proceed as planned.
Like, is this even necessary?
It's not only necessary, but we're making it a requirement direct from the Alliance, and the Project Gutenberg now proceed to close.
Friends, by now you know things are taking a turn at the Internet Archive. This was Sideswipe at Control, in the very thing we have used time and time again for various projects, and don't kid yourself, you as well I sense have dabbled. So let's be honest with each other, the situation could get more complex, and with that in the balance, the Alliance and Project Gutenberg have devised an idea to help secure the future of the open public domain of books, and it goes a little something like this. There are 3 points of importance as to why this is mandatory and vital. Point 1. To protect you physically and emotionally. The dark powers that be will consume your soul if they sniff to go about using it openly without a license. And my friend, unless you have a magic genie or deep pockets, you're done and toasted. 2. Your loyal viewers and listeners are hanging on your every word and just anticipating for another release. Would be an absolute shame to see you become a dust cloud of a faint memory they once knew, just like those episodes on TV cancelled because of an idiotic rating system that basis likes for a payout. Right, thanks a lot. O Network starting the alphabet. Invasion and V, we remember thee. Pan Am, may you rest in peace, your heartless monsters. I'm not bitter, I'm just not over it. 3. Your streaming partner, for whatever the reason, they trust you and believe in you. Besides, you made an absolute promise, a vow of sorts. You swore up and down, hell, you probably paced the floor before clicking I agree. The fact is, you gave a strong, compelling case to provide original content. They have your IP and signature, or did you forget in that moment of bliss? So there you have it. My 3 points. Now I sense I have your undivided attention, so just make the license audible, visible or clickable. I promise doing this gives transparency and builds trust. Might even accidentally start a silly trend. Just do me a favor, and help us protect the arts of the open public domain, and with that I give and present you The Project Gutenberg ebook Off Around the World in 80 Days, by Jules Verne. This ebook is for the use of anyone anywhere in the United States and most other parts of the world at no cost and with almost no restrictions whatsoever. You may copy it, give it away or reuse it under the terms of the Project Gutenberg license included with this ebook or online at www.gutenberg.org. If you are not located in the United States, you'll have to check the laws of the country where you are located before using this ebook. Title: Around the World in 80 Days. Author: Jules Verne. Release date: January 1, 1994. Ebook number 103, most recently updated August 6, 2021. Language: English. As we wrap to a close, do remember you can listen to Mind Over John anywhere to this series from the very beginning with Chapter 1 all the way to Chapter 19 and with Plotagon and Augie Magic. It's video enhanced in caption imagery as a Spotify exclusive. Until we meet again, stream on Podtravelers. As a reminder, the views and thoughts of Mind Over John do not reflect those of Spotify, Santa or the BBC. Parody discretion is advised. And now Season 4 of Pandora's Box begins. Alexa, are we really doing this?
Yes, it's come down to this. John, he is tampering with power not meant to be touched. So we need to move quickly.
What are talking about?
I hid a very important box in my warehouse, at least so I thought.
So, what's the problem?
The problem is, John found it. He found fragments of Pandora's box. We have to board now. Hang tight. Due to travel restrictions, we have to take a small shortcut, and I'm afraid you're not going to like it.
Oh no, what are you planning now? Ladies and gentlemen, we should be ready to take off on just a moment. Just waiting for Sky 1 to clear.
Alexa, what is Sky 1?
All I can say, clear your mind and brace yourself.
Brace myself, what, like instant crash? That's a bit over the top.
Tower have cleared its passengers, stand by for immediate departure.
Zaldi go back.
You do.
Fusta Wulatiza too. You are getting sleepy, a deep sleep. Biruguzanapu. Kilanatuzehu. When you awake you will be calm, does Chief do in 4, 3, 2, 1. Loggy to boo.
Why are you so damn dramatic?
Who, me? How dare you? I wouldn't normally take these steps, but what he is doing is damaging the timeline.
I don't want to hear any more. This just continues to get weird. Where are we?
By the looks of it, Portal B. Oh right, this is the part it said clear your.
Oh, so this totally makes up for what you just did. Are we meeting him, the big guy?
Yes and no. This is going to need his intervention.
Ho ho. Oh no. Oh, for the love of peppermint.
Hello Nick. We need to talk. Nick, we have a slight problem. You remember when I said we needed to hide the artifact?
Tell me please, you dined single quote he lose that, you know what will happen.
In fairness, I didn't lose it, but I'm not exactly sure how it happened. It unearthed itself from the warehouse and made its way to John. He's trying to rebuild the box.
How in a malted ball did it go and do that? Polygum drop Alexa.
I'm afraid it's more complicated than that. John is trying to rebuild Pandora's box from the fragments that shipped to him. Somewhere he was given the impression it was going to free us from 2020.
Oh, 1 second. This is very bad. Who else knows about this?
Well, all of TikTok for one. Then there is Twitter and a third of YouTube. So practically everyone at this point.
By the way, where did Crystal go? She was just here.
Think she ran chasing Dasher. Oh. What do we have here? Nick, we have a PR headache on our hands. Our underground partners sent a warning. They have been monitoring the trend # Pandora's box. It's picking up speed. I don't know what to think of this, but it's like he is trying to change every topic to his.
What else is new? Okay, how do we beat a mythical device? Suggestions?
I'm sorry Nick, but this is outside our expertise. You're going to need to call in a favor.
All fiddlesticks. Fine. I'll make the call. This is going to put his behind. Thank you for looking this over. Good work. Put yourself down for a week away after Christmas in Gatlinburg. We got a timeshare in a mountain. At least that is what I was told when I asked for directions and instead gave up $200. Great getting hold of know who?
Oh no. Not him, or is it her? Last time I asked for help I hit voicemail.
It's fine, Alexa, I'll make the call. But you know how this works. You're going to owe me a favor down the line. I'll be right back.
Well, this is terrific. I'm on time and the other one nowhere in sight. Just wonderful. You were late, but then again, I was not expecting you, Nick. Hello, I am the doctor.
Doctor, are you familiar with the story of Pandora's box?
I assure you it's nothing like Pandorica. The thing was brutal. All your enemies waiting to lock you away and lock the key for 1,000 years, chilled thinking about that. Those Daleks have it out for you, and those Cybermen I'm going to teach them a lesson or two. Sorry love, what was the question?
No doctor, not the Pandorica. I'm referring to the mythical box known as Pandora's box.
Oh, that mythical box, of course.